Have you ever had a great intention that you were going to do something and then it fell apart? Or have you ever noticed you've just got some addictions that you don't know how to handle, whether it's smoking, alcohol, food? Or do you find that you are so hard on yourself and you sabotage all your best efforts? Well, it's time for you to kick that out of your life, because every one of those behaviors are run by the brain. And yes, we can do all kinds of therapy and rehab, and I'm not putting that down. But if you don't work with your brain, who runs the programs, long-term success is difficult at best. You see, this part of our brain, which is our brainstem cerebellum, its whole purpose is to keep you alive, to keep you safe. And we do things that are comfortable because they help us to feel more safe. You remember like what you did as a child. Maybe it was a certain food that your mom would make you when you didn't feel good, and you associate food with comfort. I'll tell you a secret about me. When I was growing up, my favorite was M&Ms, sorted by color, and a good book. And man, I was on top of the world. I don't do the M&Ms anymore. I still enjoy a good book. But we often associate food, or it could be drugs or alcohol, with that comfort, because addictions are a shortcut that the brain learns that, oh, if she does that, she'll feel safer. So it gets a lot of practice, but it doesn't last, and it has negative impact on our health. But to try and change all that takes more than willpower. It takes working with your brain. Well, how do you do that with addictions? Aha! Let me share with you a tool that's having tremendous results, and I'm going to share how it's helping me and also with clients, and that's Kick It. Kick It is truly to kick it out of your brain, because that brain pathway that goes to things that harm you to give you that sense of comfort for just the moment, there's a pathway in the brain that manages it, and it gets put into place when you're under stress. When that brain pathway gets super hyper, dysregulated, those cravings own you. You know what that's like? Have you ever felt that? Willpower doesn't win against that kind of a struggle. But when you take a Kick It patch and you peel off the backing and the rest of it, it's got a bunch of little ridges. It's kind of like a QR code that's going to go to a website, a very specific one, not just any one. Or it's like Braille that has different dots, and when put together and a blind person touches them, they can read. That's because our skin takes in massive amount of information, sends it through the nervous system right to the brain, the pathway that you're working on. And how do we know this works? Clinical studies, double-blind placebos, with the score of 1 in 1,000 chance it's a placebo. So we know they work on that brain pathway. And for people who deal with smoking, alcohol, food, they notice a change when they wear the Kick It patch 24/7. That gives you the option, the margin, such a key word, the margin then to make other choices, because you're not in this battle that you've already lost. I want to share with you a few stories, and I'll start with mine. So with me, I don't really deal with addictions, but when I wear Kick It, I'm a highly creative, highly focused, high-performing person, but there are days when I feel like every tab in my brain is open, and then it's like I'm not running efficiently at all. And so for a few days during the holidays, when I had too many tabs open, as I was using Kick It, what I found was everything would come into focus for what I needed to do right now. I thought, well, that's pretty cool. And then I remembered a client I'd talked to in June, and she was a mess. She agreed she was a mess, but in her mess, when addictions are running your life and you're a mess, you're not always pleasant to be around. And she tried Kick It, and within just a couple of days, she texted me, and we ended up talking. She said, Cheryl, I didn't realize how much self-sabotage and how negative I was about me. She said it had become an addiction. I was totally oblivious. And as she's been using this, and she's using a couple of others for some other issues, other brain pathways, it was like I was talking to a completely different person. That's pretty cool, because that wasn't years of therapy. It wasn't years of eating the perfect diet and doing everything right and making willpower operate in stone. It was just freeing a pathway to be in balance. That's pretty exciting. Then we had another guy who's in his 80s, and sweets call his name, and he would be rummaging through the cupboards, as he said, to find something sweet. So he put together Kick It for the addiction and Peace for nervous system, because he's a caretaker for his wife. So he's under a lot of stress, can't get out as much as he would like. And he was wearing a glucose monitor, so he knew what his blood sugar scores were with his late night eating, and during the night they would spike. Well, when he was doing this combination, he didn't have any interest in all those snacks at night. And he started noticing just within a day or two that his blood sugar spikes went away. That wasn't willpower at all. That was the brain pathways getting into balance and doing what they're intended to do. So isn't it about time that you quit fighting a downhill battle and start working with your brain? Because when it's in balance and it's different pathways, it's like miracles happen. It's not that they're miracles, that's how God intended our bodies to be. But we live in a world where circumstances and environment are stressful. They're not the problem, it's how we respond to it. And we can change those responses as we get our brain pathways in balance. If you're suffering from any of those addictions, it's about time that you kick it out of your life and go connect with the person that invited you to this video, or look below for some more information. It's so much fun when you don't have to rely on willpower that you probably don't have anyway. It's so much fun when your brain pathways get into balance and they help you be your very best self.